Be still before the Lord, and wait patiently. They that wait on the Lord shall inherit the land. My soul, wait thou only upon God. End of 11th day. Twelfth Day of Waiting on God, by Andrew Murray. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Christopher Smith. Waiting on God, keeping His ways. Wait on the Lord, and keep His way, and He shall exalt thee to inherit the land. Psalm 37, verse 34. If we desire to find a man whom we long to meet, we inquire where the places and the ways are where he is to be found. When waiting on God, we need to be very careful that we keep His ways. Out of these we never can expect to find Him. Thou meetest him that rejoiceth and worketh righteousness, those that remember Thee in Thy ways. We may be sure that God is never and nowhere to be found but in His ways, and that there, by the soul who seeks and patiently waits, He is always most surely to be found. Wait on the Lord, and keep His ways, and He shall exalt thee. How close the connection between the two parts of the injunction. Wait on the Lord, that has to do with worship and disposition, and keep His ways, that deals with walk and work. The outer life must be in harmony with the inner. The inner must be the inspiration and the strength for the outer. It is our God who has made known His ways in His word for our conduct, and invites our confidence for His grace and help in our heart. If we do not keep His ways, our waiting on Him can bring no blessing. The surrender to a full obedience to all His will is the secret of full access to all the blessings of His fellowship. Notice how strongly this comes out in the psalm. It speaks of the evildoer who prospereth in his way, and calls on the believer not to fret himself. When we see men around us prosperous and happy while they forsake God's ways, and ourselves left in difficulty or suffering, we are in danger of first fretting at what appears so strange, and then gradually yielding to seek our prosperity in their path. The psalm says, "Fret not thyself, trust in the Lord and do good. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for Him. Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Depart from evil and do good. The Lord forsaketh not His saints." The righteous shall inherit the land. The law of his God is in his heart, none of his steps shall slide. And then follows, the word occurs for the third time in the psalm, wait on the Lord and keep His ways. Do what God asks you to do. God will do more than you can ask Him to do. And let no one give way to the fear, I cannot keep His ways. It is this robs every one of confidence. It is true you have not the strength yet to keep all His ways, but keep carefully those for which you have received strength already. Surrender yourself willingly and trustingly to keep all God's ways in the strength which will come in waiting on Him. Give up your whole being to God without reserve and without doubt. He will prove Himself God to you, and work in you that which is pleasing in His sight through Jesus Christ. Keep His ways as you know them in the Word. Keep His ways as nature teaches them, in always doing what appears right. Keep His ways as providence points them out. Keep His ways as the Holy Spirit suggests. Do not think of waiting on God while you say you are not willing to work in His path. However weak you feel, only be willing, and He who has worked to will work to do by His power. Wait on the Lord and keep His ways. It may be that the consciousness of shortcoming and sin makes our text look more like a hindrance than a help in waiting on God. Let it not be so. Have we not said more than once, the very starting point and groundwork of this waiting is utter and absolute impotence? why then not come with everything evil you feel in yourself, every memory of unwillingness, unwatchfulness, unfaithfulness, and all that causes such unceasing self-condemnation? Put your power in God's impotence, and find in waiting on God your deliverance. Your failure has been owing to only one thing: you sought to conquer and obey in your own strength. Come and bow before God until you learn that He is the God who alone is good and alone can work any good thing. Believe that in you and all that nature can do there is no true power. Be content to receive from God each moment the inworking of His mighty grace and life, and waiting on God will become the renewal of your strength to run in His ways and not be weary, to walk in His paths and never faint. Wait on the Lord and keep His ways will be the command and promise in one. My soul, wait thou only upon God. End of 12th day. 13th day of Waiting on God by Andrew Murray. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Christopher Smith. Waiting on God for more than we know. And now, Lord, what wait I for? My hope is in Thee. Deliver me from all my transgressions. Psalm 39, verses 7 and 8. There may be times when we feel as if we knew not what we are waiting for. There may be other times when we think we do know, and when it would be just so good for us to realize that we do not know what to ask as we ought. God is able to do for us exceeding abundantly above what we ask or think, and we are in danger of limiting Him when we confine our desires and prayers to our own thoughts of them. It is a great thing at times to say, as our psalm says, "And now, Lord, what wait I for?" I scarce know or can tell, this only I can say, my hope is in Thee. How we see this limiting of God in the case of Israel. When Moses promised them meat in the wilderness, they doubted, saying, "Can God furnish a table in the wilderness? He smote the rock that the waters gushed out. Can He give bread also? Can He provide flesh for His people?" If they had been asked whether God could provide streams in the desert, they would have answered, yes. God had done it, He could do it again. But when the thought came of God doing something new, they limited Him. Their expectation could not rise beyond their past experience or their own thoughts of what was possible. Even so, we may be limiting God by our conceptions of what He has promised or is able to do. Do let us beware of limiting the Holy One of Israel in our very prayer. Let us believe that the very promises of God we plead have a divine meaning infinitely beyond our thoughts of them. Let us believe that His fulfillment of them can be in a power and an abundance of grace beyond our largest grasp of thought. And let us therefore cultivate the habit of waiting on God, not only for what we think we need, but for all His grace and power are ready to do for us. In every true prayer there are two hearts in exercise. The one is your heart, with its little dark human thoughts of what you need and God can do. The other is God's great heart, with its infinite, its divine purposes of blessing. What think you? To which of these two ought the larger place to be given in your approach to Him? Undoubtedly to the heart of God. Everything depends upon knowing and being occupied with that. But how little this is done. This is what waiting on God is meant to teach you. Just think of God's wonderful love and redemption in the meaning these words must have to Him. Confess how little you understand of what God is willing to do for you, and say each time as you pray, "And now, what wait I for?" My heart cannot say. God's heart knows and waits to give. My hope is in Thee. Wait on God to do for you more than you can ask or think. Apply this to the prayer that follows. Deliver me from all my transgressions. You have prayed to be delivered from temper or pride or self-will. It is as if it is in vain. May it not be that you have had your own thoughts about the way or the extent of God's doing it, and have never waited on the God of glory, according to the riches of his glory, to do for you what hath not entered into the heart of man to conceive? Learn to worship God as the God who doeth wonders, who wishes to prove in you that he can do something supernatural and divine. Bow before him, wait upon him, until your soul realizes that you are in the hands of a divine and almighty worker. Consent but to know what and how he will work. Expect it to be something altogether godlike, something to be waited for in deep humility and received only by his divine power. Let the "And now, Lord, what wait I for? My hope is in Thee," become the spirit of every longing and every prayer. He will in his time do his work. Dear soul, in waiting on God you may often be ready to be weary, because you hardly know what you have to expect. I pray you, be of good courage. This ignorance is often one of the best signs. He is teaching you to leave all in his hands, and to wait on him alone. Wait on the Lord, be strong, and let your heart take courage. Yea, wait thou on the Lord. My soul, wait thou only upon God. End of 13th day.